What do you think? There's a bunch of toys. Take my shoes off to enter the play area. Oh, is this my seat? Is this my seat? Oh, Vampirina. You found your Kindle. All right, she found her Kindle, guys. Whew. It is. It's not hot, but it is muggy. Oh, refreshing water. Whew. Hey, guys. So, I'm Joe. This is the Rebels Advocate. You probably already know who I am, because I'm super famous on YouTube. I get dozens of views. It's unbelievable. Pretty wealthy. We live here in a double wide trailer in the hills. It's a life of luxury. I try not to spoil my daughter too much, but you know how it is. When you're rich and famous, it's difficult. But welcome to episode 1 of Wail, Wail, Wail. That's right. And as you know, this is supposed to be the point where I say, and we're live. But I don't get to do that. Do we, Peyton? Don't get to do that because YouTube changed the rules and I'm no longer eligible to do live videos. Apparently, I have to have 1,000 subscribers, but I'm confident that we'll get there soon. I'm gonna be putting these videos out anyway, every week, and I'm gonna do it just like it's live, as much as I can. And maybe what I'm gonna try to do is post a little video the day before, put that out, and that way if anybody wants to comment, they can comment there. You know, if you have any questions or anything like that, comments you want read on the air, and on the air, like a TV station or a radio station. I'll read all your dedications and requests over the air. Would you like to make a long distance dedication? So anyway, that's where we're at. Now, I got some explaining to do before we even get started. Because you're probably thinking, boy Joe, this video is a little late, and it is late. And I have to explain to you why it's late. Some things have happened. So today is Tuesday, June the 23rd. It's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm just now, I gotta take, it is so muggy out here. Good Lord. We've had so much rain. I don't know if you can tell my yard, but like I've mowed my yard Saturday or Sunday, and it's Tuesday, but I had to set it so high because it's been so long where it rained every day. Had to set it so high it's already ready to be mowed again. But anyway, this has been a very difficult decision because I did record my video as promised Monday evening. And I told you guys I was going to record it, no editing, put it up, no matter what, just like it was live. And now I'm not doing that. And I somehow feel guilty because the one thing I've always said is I want to be honest and open. And so I really put a lot of thought into it of just putting the video out anyway and putting a disclaimer in front of it of what happened. But I just, the video was 2 hours long. So I'm just going to come out, tell you what happened, and then tell you where I went from there. I come out and I thought the video was going pretty good. I was having a good time. I was positive, and as you know, I told you guys I was going to have some drinks. I was going to get loose, have fun. I got a little too loose. I had a little too much fun. I don't drink very often. Matter of fact, what you guys see me drink on here is about as much as I drink, because I really only drink, there's only certain times I drink. If I'm at a barbecue, you know, whether I'm cooking out here, if I cook out here, I'll have like 2-3 beers. If I'm at a friend's house at barbecue, I might have 2 or 3 beers. the most, like a while back, I had 6 beers at a friend's house, and that was like probably the most beers I've had in a long time. And so you know, I don't drink a whole lot, but last night I was like, I had 6 beers left from when I went to that friend's house a while back, and I had some Smoky Mountain apple pie moonshine, 70 proof, not, you know, not super stout. Guys, last night in the process of 2 hours, I drank 4 beers and about that much of that moonshine. Should have been enough to get me buzzing, but instead it put me on my butt. 100%, like just put me on my butt. And we didn't have Peyton last night. Peyton was at Mama's because my wife, we had to go this morning. My wife had to have a colonoscopy done, so we had to be up early and go for that. And so here I was outside doing my video last night up until it got dark, and got so drunk I barely walked in the house. I was in the floor, couldn't get, and finally my wife got me up in bed. Here she is, going to have a procedure next day, and she has to take, you know, care of me and help get me in bed. So I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. And here's the thing, I was so dedicated to getting that video on that last night before I passed out, I actually hit it to upload to YouTube, and it made it to like 72% before my battery died in my phone. And I don't even remember doing that. So anyway, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I wasn't really that hungover. And I lay there and I thought about what happened. I thought about, you know, do I even want to upload that video? I don't even know what it's going to look like. I need to at least watch it. And then I thought, no, you know, I kind of promised you guys I would. One of the things I promised is being open and honest, and I don't want to like hide things. And I was like, you know, I said I was going to make it like it was live. And then I also had a lot of thoughts about drinking, period. And because I've had, you know, I enjoy a beer, like I do, but I've had problems in the past of not controlling my alcohol very well. And this was just another time. And you know, I'm at that point in my life where I have to think about stuff, and it was a serious decision, because here's the thing is, I know I can quit, and not to sound like, you know, the old cliche, I can quit whenever I want to, but I honestly know I can, because I almost never drink anyway. So it's not like I have a problem of, like, I'm an alcoholic, have to have alcohol. It's more of when I do drink, and most of the time I only have a few and it's fine, but there's enough of these occasions where I drink too much, and I might not do anything super bad, but like last night, one of the things I thought is like, is that how I want my wife to see me? I want to see my wife have to help me up and get me in bed. What if my daughter had been here? Now, she wouldn't really know what's going on now, but when she gets 5, 6 years old, is that what I want her to see? Do I want her to see me get in that position? And it's easy to say, well, just don't drink that much anymore, but as long as I drink, I know that's a possibility. You know, that, and so it wasn't something I went into. It ain't like I woke up with a hangover and said, I'm never doing this again. It's something that I sit down, had me a cup of coffee, and seriously contemplated it, and I've decided to give up drinking. Today, June 23rd, 2020, I decided to just give it up. You know, I weighed the pros and cons, and I was like, my number one priority is being a good dad and a good husband. Man, my wife is so good to me. She is wonderful. And even though, like I said, I'm not a mean drunk, so it's not like I get drunk and, you know, verbally abusive or anything. If anything, I'm usually funny. But it's like, you know, I don't really respect myself when I can't. And I was so flustered last night, I couldn't, because in my head, I knew how much I drunk. And it did not make sense in my head that I could be that drunk off of 4 beers and, you know, that much of not straight moonshine, 70 proof, 35% alcohol moonshine. It didn't seem like that I should be that drunk. So water today, of course, and that could be why I'm sweating so bad. It's from last night. I don't know, but water sure does taste good today. So there's that. So even though I promised you I was going to sit back and have a beer or two and drink some moonshine, that is not that happened last night. Didn't happen today. And so anyway, I thought about putting that video out with a disclaimer, just like this, kind of explaining myself, and then just putting it out there for you to see. I went and watched, I didn't watch all of it. I went and watched maybe the last 10 minutes because I honestly couldn't remember it. And I have no recollection. I was, at that point, I think I was reading comments. I was trying to answer. And guys, it's not something I want to put up. It was hard. It was me sitting at the table and just blanking out on even, how to talk. And I do enough of that sober. So, I was like, it wasn't beneficial. And so I felt like the way I can still feel right about being honest and open with you guys, just do another video and explain exactly what happened and why, I made the decision I did. And it's just, so this is kind of a big step for me, I guess. I don't think it's going to affect me big time because, like I said, I rarely drink anyway. But, it'll be different going forward. It'll be interesting at certain events, how that goes. Being so, when I'm in my first situation where everybody around me is kind of drinking and I'm not. But, I think I've already been in those situations before where I didn't drink because anytime, like say if we go to a party and a few people are, and when I say party, I mean like, like a get together of families and the adults are having some beer. I've just always been, even though I know I can drink a couple beers and then be there a few hours and be fine, if I have my baby with me, I don't drink. It's just, I just don't want to take that chance, period, of, I should be sober in a few hours. I don't want to take that chance, so I don't drink, period, if she's with me. So there's already been times where, and it doesn't bother me. A lot of times, especially when I was younger, I used alcohol because I don't do good in social situations, so I'm not good at talking to people, so alcohol loosened me up. And, but that's not me, though. So, I would rather be me, and if I can't have fun without alcohol, then I'm not having fun to begin with, apparently. So, enough of that. Let's move forward. Let's get this show on the road. Now, the second disclaimer, and I made this disclaimer last night, and I'm gonna make it now. What's up, baby? Are you having fun? You love laying outside, don't you? You love it, don't you? Yeah. Here's second disclaimer. So these videos, what's different about these videos that I'm doing here? The Wail. Here we are, episode 1, and we're gonna do them every week. Why are they different? Well, they're gonna be definitely more laid back. As you can see, we are really relaxed. There's no real point to these videos. I can talk about anything and everything, just things that's come up during the week. So there's no one subject. There's not a huge point. And also, I feel like a lot of you guys kind of get to know me watching my videos, but there's always one side of me that you don't really get to see. And I think you'll see more of the real me and get to know me. And I think it's cool that, people that enjoy watching my videos for whatever reason, and I'm still amazed that anyone, does enjoy it, it's kind of nice to, I guess, it'd be nice to just kind of open up more, be myself. And these can be funny, can be serious, we can talk about anything. And I jotted down a few topics we're going to talk about. I don't know what we'll cover today because, like I said, I got out here late. It's already after 8 o'clock. Here's what I wrote down to do this week. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's like those are just notes. Very, just like a one-liner topic. Oh, you need help? Oh, we're kind of sitting on an incline here, ain't we? You got grass on you? Whoa! How you doing? But, what was I saying? So, she spent the day with her mama today. And by the way, my wife, she had to have her colonoscopy today. That went well. Everything's mostly good. She did have a polyp, had that removed. They're going to send it off and check it. Said it most likely was precancerous, but you know, that's precancerous, so that's good to hear. And I mean, you'd rather not find anything, but it's good to know they only found one and got rid of it. And it's good because she's still in her 30s, so you know, a lot of times people don't have a colonoscopy till they're like, what, 50. So who knows if she hadn't had all these stomach problems and had these tests and waited till she was 50 to have a colonoscopy, that could have been a whole other story. So anyway, back to the show. Here we are. First of all, I know I'm wearing my camo shorts and an old t-shirt, and you're like, Joe, why didn't you get dressed up, you know, for the first episode? It's a monumental occasion. It's just momentous, okay, what kind of occasion is it? It's a big occasion, whatever. But I just want you guys to know that even though I may look like a bum, I am wearing brand new underwear. Like, I mean, well, not brand new, but practically new. I mean, they're less than a month old. They got 0 holes in them yet. Oh, there you go. It's hard to sit up, ain't it? You're on a hill. You want me to turn you around? Oh. So proud of my baby girl. She's 3 years old. Any new viewers that may not know, she has cerebral palsy. But we work with her really hard. She has therapists. Unfortunately, she hasn't got to see her therapist in months due to this COVID. That's her new thing. But man, she's getting around doing really good. We just love you to death, Julie. This is my whole life right here, guys. I don't know what that's her new thing. So yeah, the new underwear. So I am dressed up underneath. You don't get to see it. I wish I could show you guys. You'd be so impressed. They're nice underwear, beautiful. I think they're Fruit of the Looms. They got like, they're not a solid, you know, I used to go solid colors. These got stripes. It's really nice. Y'all be impressed. Second thing we need to put a disclaimer up front. Like I said, these videos are gonna be more laid back, more casual. Oh, there you go. You're in the grass. Oh no, there's so much grass there. You ain't getting my bottle. I know that's what you want. Want your kennel? No. But I do have to say, there's going to be explicit language. Because that's just, you know, that's how I talk in day-to-day life. I cuss like a sailor most of the time. And so I know in some of my videos I do, some I don't, you know. But in these videos, I definitely, you know, I'm just going to be myself. And so being myself is not watching my language. I didn't always cuss like this. I think most of it happened when she got here because she cusses a lot, and I think I pick up most of my bad language from her. Just, I mean, you hang around her and she's cussing constantly, and you can't help before long you start picking up words. So there'll be a lot of that. So if you don't like cussing, I just don't give a care. You probably thought that was where I was going to say I don't give a fuck, but to me that would have been too on the nose to have been like, you know, I'm going to cuss, I don't give a fuck. It's just like, you shouldn't just, I don't know, I think it's tacky to bring the F-bomb straight out in the beginning. You know what? And two, I don't really like dropping F-bombs. I like dropping F-missiles. And what I mean by that is, like, an F-bomb is just like, fuck. Like, you just put so much emphasis on it, and it's just, like I said, it's a little tacky. I like F-missiles because F-missiles, they just kind of drop in there real casually, just whoosh, right in the sentence. Like the sentence is going like, and that missile just right there, man, and it's you don't even know it's hit you until it hits you. It's kind of like, you know, a guy be like, hey man, you got that ladder, and we'll go get up on the roof and fix it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go grab the fucking ladder real quick. You know, you see how I did that? Like, it took a second for you to even realize I dropped a fucking in there.
Daddy's hat.
You got Daddy's hat. Because it was so casual. That's what you call an F missile. Like, I mean, it's not like I didn't put no emphasis on it. I just I just smoothly guided it right in there. And it was beautiful. It really was. And what's that? Is that a big truck? And so that's how I like to do it. So let's see, what do we got for our topics? Believe it or not, I literally wrote new underwear on there. So you ain't throwing Daddy's hat in the grass, you turd muffin. I seen that. And I wanted to talk about the explicit language tag. Make sure you guys understood that. There will be language, and I apologize. Next, I wanted to talk about it's something I think is. Damn, I honestly hate that this is the first topic we're going to tackle on the first episode of this show. I don't know why I call it a show. These videos, whatever, this new playlist, what? I don't know, what do you call it? Ah, you want to sit on my lap? Is that what you're wanting? You want to sit on Daddy's lap? But we got to talk about something that's, I guess, controversial in certain circles. And I'm just going to come out with it. And I know it's controversial for this one, especially. We're going to talk about bubble guppies. Some of you may not even be aware. Those of you that are aware, I'm sure you probably are gasping right now. And you're like, Joe, please don't. You're probably saying to yourself, please don't even go near that subject. Let's not touch it. Because it's a touchy subject, but I feel like it needs to be talked about because this is what they're teaching our kids, and this is what's on TV today. And so if you don't know, Bubble Guppies is a show on Nickelodeon, I guess, because she watches it on Noggin. We don't have TV, like cable or satellite. We just have, we got like Netflix, Hulu, Noggin, Disney, you know. And Noggin. Yeah, and Peyton watches Bubble Guppies. Yeah, Noggin. She watches Bubble Guppies all the time, and so I like to check out what my kids are watching. And you know, guys, this show is about, well, I guess they're Bubble Guppies, but in actuality, what they are is, I mean, I guess they're mermaids and mermen. They're mer people. Yep, of course you'll hear that where I live. Of course. I don't know if you picked that up, but yeah, it's the old Dukes of Hazzard horn. But anyway, they're little mer people, and they live at the bottom of the ocean, of course, and all that I can get on board with. That's fine. I watch Little Mermaid with her all the time. I'm used to shows that talk about creatures living under the show. Do you hear the puppies? And that's fine. But this show, however, takes a wild turn, and we're going to talk about it. And by the way, on the subject of Little Mermaid, I watch all of those movies as well, and I don't mean to get off on a tangent here, but can we talk about King Triton, or whoever, like Ariel's dad, who is, I guess he's like the god of the sea or whatever, which first of all I don't get at all because I haven't seen any powers from him. The only thing I've seen from him is his trident, which apparently shoots fire or something. And so to me it's like he's not really that powerful. It's just he's the only fucker down there with a gun, basically. You know, it would be like if I was the only person in the world with a fucking AR-15, you know, and nobody knew what guns were, or even, you know, any kind of weapon like that, and I could just make anybody do what I wanted. That's kind of Triton in the sea, like, unless, you know, I mean, maybe the comics, or is there comics? I don't know. Like, maybe the movies aren't showing the whole story. I'm not a Little Mermaid expert, but also what I was going to say, what else about him is, don't eat grass. You're eating grass in front of everybody. That's fine when we ain't on video. You can eat all the grass you want, but in front of other people, we have to act, you know, like we got a little decency. We're not complete monsters out here.
Mommy.
Mommy, where's Mommy?
I call Mommy.
You call Mommy? But he is an asshole. He's not a good dad at all. And I know in all the movies he comes around at the end, but let's just be honest, for the most part he's a dick. Like, you know, and I don't know if y'all watched the prequel, but he won't let them dance or sing. It's like Dirty Dancing in the Sea. Like, is that the right movie where they don't let them dance? Or is that Grease? Like, I've never watched either one of them, but anyway, you know, I just want to talk about that too, now that we kind of brought up the whole under the sea thing. I just think he's a fucking dick. Like, he always has been, and, you know, they kind of bring it around at the end, like, oh, he come around, you know, now everybody loves him. Yeah, well, you read it, okay? But he really isn't a good person, and it's like he doesn't learn from one movie to the next. Yeah, he comes around on that issue, but then in the next movie he's a dick about something else, you know. And not a good dad at all, just not a good father. But anyway, back to Bubble Guppies. Bubble Guppies happens under the sea. They're little mer people. There's every animal you can think of, and not just fish. There are fish, there's crabs, there's regular fish, there's sharks, there's all this, but there's also like hippos and zebras, and like they literally go to the zoo one time. And a lot of these animals, what they'll have their two front feet, like it'll be a hippo, and it'll look just like a hippo. He's got his two front feet, and then the back, instead of two back feet, it'll have a tail like a fish, you know. So it's like a mer hippo, or, you know, I mean, whatever. And then sometimes they won't. Like sometimes there's squirrels, and the squirrels just are four-legged with a tail, just like they are up here, but they're at the bottom of the goddamn ocean for some reason. And I'm watching this, and it's pissing me off, because I mean, what? I don't understand. So it caught my attention, and I'm paying attention now. You know, what's going on here? I need to know what they're teaching my daughter, what they're brainwashing her with. I swear to God, guys, guess what else they got down there? Guess what the mer people have? They got a goddamn fire department. I shit you not, a goddamn fire department. You're gonna ask yourself what they need a fire department for at the bottom of the ocean. Well, let me tell you, I've kind of found out. They have fires. I mean, you have any idea what kind of fuel source you need to keep a fire going at the bottom of the ocean? I mean, and at that point, if you've got a fuel source that bad, keep a fire going at the bottom of the ocean, then I mean, what good is the fire department going to? You know what? I mean, you bring one fire truck, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to squirt water on it. Shit you not. At the bottom of the goddamn ocean, they're going to squirt water on it. And then there was a whole episode on the fire department, because the kids learn about different things. They were learning about the fire department. Like, I think it was a cat, I can't remember, it may have been a different animal, but like a cat or something gets stuck in a tree way up there in the bottom of the ocean. Now think about this. So they go, what they do, they drive their truck there, truck with wheels, by the way, run the ladder up, and something happens, ladder gets stuck, or one of the firemen gets stuck on I can't remember. And one of the kids has to go in and kind of saves the day. But they go up the ladder and bring them down. Now remember, we're in water. And I don't know if you know anything about swimming underwater, if you're like a fish or a fish person, but it's kind of a, it's not like Nintendo. It's like, it's more like Xbox or PlayStation. Like, everything don't go in a straight line. You can actually move like this, but you can also move like this and like this. Like, that's how it works. I don't know, y'all probably don't know a lot about how things work in the ocean, but I've did a lot of research on it. And yeah, you can go up and down. You can swim up and down. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why don't the goddamn cat just, I mean, the cat has a tail like everything else. No. Why don't it just swim? They got damn fire department. There's one episode where they got dragons down there. Okay, first of all, I highly doubt there's dragons at the bottom of the ocean. I'm not saying there's not, because I haven't been there myself, but you know, I do a lot of Googling, and I would think I would have come across this before. But one of them, this dragon's going around and he's breathing fire on everything. And here's another problem I have. There was like hay fields and like hay bales. Who's baling hay at the bottom of the fucking ocean? Like, this bothers me. Like, so one dragon's going around setting everything on fire. The other dragon goes around and drinks water and fills his tank up. Okay, I catch. and then he goes behind the other dragon and puts it out, like squirts water on it in the bottom of the ocean. Because I mean, and he has to go search for water to drink, to shoot on the fire. Like, there's barrel, they have certain spots where they have barrels of water, you know, because water is hard to find at the bottom of the, I'm trying not to get mad, guys, but this is it's a little upsetting. There's an episode where they have a pool, and you guessed it, they got to bring a water hose out there and fill the pool up while they're swimming. They're not on the ground. They're like this is the ground. They're like up here, just swimming with their little swimming pool sitting there, and then they swim over and get the water hose, put water in the apparently empty swimming pool that's at the bottom of the ocean, and then jump in it, and there's a splash. What's going on? I need to know. I don't understand this universe, and I don't know, like, what's a lie now? Is this show a lie? Are they lying to our kids? Or are all these documentaries and shit I'm watching on National Geographic and so forth, are they lying to us? Oh no, you don't need that book. You don't need that book. You don't need that book. No. You silly Billy. Why'd you put Mickey in the grass? Oh. Why'd you put Mickey in the grass? Ow! But, you know, somebody's lying somewhere. And I don't know, like I said, is it the are they lying to the adults? Because, you know, I try to be open-minded and a realist, and it's possible we're being lied to. And there really is a magical world down there. That's amazing! You got grass on you. Or are they lying to our kids? And it's, you know, this is something we're probably going to look into in the future. I'm going to do a lot of Googling and figure this out. And when I do, there'll be some letters written. I'm writing some letters. We're talking to people. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Probably be passing around some petitions, you know, whatnot. Ow! So, but let's just move on to the next topic, because that was probably too personal for me and hits too close to home. But I want to talk about this. I wrote down rednecks and cops. And because it's a question I've been asking myself, when the hell did rednecks fall in love with cops? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a weird one for me. But man, they are licking those boots lately. And I understand a lot of you might support law enforcement, and I do too, to a certain extent. I think we've lost our way. The entire system has lost its way, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But when the fuck did rednecks start loving the police? As a kid, like, let's put the whole Confederate flag thing aside for a second. But I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard. Now, I didn't really learn anything about the Confederate flag watching Dukes of Hazzard, right? Like, it's on the cop car, but I didn't even know what it meant. As a kid, I had no clue. And it might have been addressed. I don't even remember. I can barely remember watching it as a kid. But you know what I learned? You know what I learned as a kid watching the Dukes of Hazzard? I learned fuck the police. That's what I learned. I learned fuck the police. And, you know, it's kind of, whoa. It's kind of like with, NASCAR, and I can't believe NASCAR has, this incident with the noose in Bubba Wallace's garage is horrendous, but NASCAR as a sport, I've been really surprised how aggressive they've been, and I'm proud of them, the steps they're taking, and I hope to see real change there, and I really like what NASCAR is doing and the steps they're trying to take. The fans, of course, a lot of the fans, there's a lot of good NASCAR fans, but there's a lot of racist motherfucking fans. If you don't believe me, hop on a comment thread in a NASCAR post. It's ridiculous. But what I say to every goddamn one of those, it's like, I'm about done with NASCAR. It's like, fuck, I'll get see ya, bye, we don't need you. Like, we don't give a shit. Every one of you that's, thinks you gotta have your Confederate flag in the stands to make some sort of statement, fuck you, get lost. I grew up watching NASCAR. I love NASCAR. Haven't watched it in years. And I gotta be honest, recently I thought about starting back watching it, just, because I've been proud of them for what they're doing. But anyway, that's kind of how NASCAR got its start. I mean, well, not kind of. I mean, it's pretty much exactly how they got their start, was running from the goddamn law. The fucking law chasing them for moonshine. Uh-oh, batteries run out. Oh no, I hear it. And that was the birth of NASCAR, was literally running from the fucking police, from the law, from these agents, whatever, coming after them. Because in the land of the free, apparently, we got freedom, but how dare you make liquor, it's some bullshit when you think about some of the laws. And just like Mary, I was going to mention that earlier, like I gave up my alcohol, but now they're decriminalizing marijuana in my state July 1st. So I'm not, if that opportunity presents itself, to me that's a little different alcohol, and that's not something I'm giving up. Something I haven't done in a long time, but they are decriminalized it. But I don't really know anyone right now, and so I'll have to find a dealer, I guess. I wish it was completely legal. Wish I could just walk in the store and get it, but I guess I'll take decriminalization for now. But it's just funny to me, in the land of the free, you got freedom, but how dare you try to make homemade liquor, and especially how dare you try to sell it. Are you chewing on grass again? You got a grass sticking out of you. Did you get your kennel? Yeah. See, you don't get that on the edited versions. Sorry about that. But yeah, we just got a bunch of bootlicking rednecks lately, and it's just surprising to me. So let's talk about the whole police situation. And I know a lot of you have probably heard this whole defund the police thing, and there's a lot of mixed feelings on that. And so let's talk about it, because I kind of got set straight on it a little bit, because I saw this thing going around, and I'll be honest, I didn't read the articles because I've just grown so tired of reading about a lot of this. Like, I've got weary of it. It's just, oh, I love this thing. What? But, you know, I kept seeing these things, defund the police, and I'm like, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate the police as much as the next guy. I've had my issues with the police, but at the end of the day, it's a necessary evil, right? Like, we gotta have law enforcement. We gotta somehow figure out a way to weed out the bad ones. We gotta really, I don't think police reform is the right word, because we've been saying reform for years and years. The police unions aren't going to allow any positive change to happen. They're not going to allow anything in that, any kind of system that really polices the police. So what do? You need to go inside? She needs to go inside. Uh-oh. You want me to take you inside? Yeah. Wait, can you sit out here with Daddy for another minute? But, so I asked somebody about it. There was a group that were talking about it in the comments, and I said, okay, what's this look like? Because, yeah, I see you want to put money here and here and here, but, what happens when we have our next school shooting and that's coming? I mean, they took a break for a while, but, you just... You need to go inside the house? It's America, so our next school shootings, it's bound to happen. We'll be lucky if, maybe not having school because of COVID. It may be some kids that live that wouldn't have because of that. Who knows? And then unfortunately, there may be some kids that die because of that. Because they have abusive heart. It's a weird situation, but you just like throwing it, don't you? But so I talked to them about it, and they kind of explained to me what it means, and basically, and understand it means different things for different people. Because you got your people out there that are like, fuck them all, get rid of all, that think we can somehow live in a utopia without any police. There are those people, but those are very few. Most people understand we have to have law enforcement, but they understand the things like what I just said. There's going to be no reform with the system we got right now. The police union, it's just, we've been saying reform, and it's just not happening. And we're reaching a place where we got to burn it all down and start fresh. And I gotta say, I kind of agree with that. I'm not smart enough to know how that works myself, but I am smart enough to know that this system isn't, like what we got now isn't working. I don't know how you make that transition though. I think, like from the ground up, everything, because I think we lost our way. I think law enforcement was one of the greatest things we did. It was one of the best ideas we had to begin with. It was almost necessary. It's almost a no-brainer. We need some security, so let's pay some of our people to do that, right? And then somewhere along the way, it went from protecting people to... Did you just call me Mommy? Who am I? Daddy. Okay, guys, I'm probably gonna have to take her. She needs to go inside. Maybe you just want to pick up and do the video inside. We may just have to do that. Finish it up. You want to do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how Mommy's feeling. If she feels like watching. Oh, Daddy can't get up. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, so I gotta go, but We'll either pick this up inside or I'll be back out. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. She needed to go inside. As soon as I took her inside, guess what? I need to go back. Where you need to go back to? I need to go back outside. Nope, you're done with the outside world. So we're talking about the police, right? And by the way, look how fat I'm getting. This is the next thing I gotta take care of. Jesus Christ. This is the biggest I've ever been. I lost 9 pounds in 3 days. Did great, and now I've gained back about 6 of it. Did a lot just drinking this and not pop, but and cut my meals way back, but it's difficult, especially anyway. But the police, you know, it's just like we need to somehow, some way start over from the ground up. Like I was saying, it's like we started out with a good purpose, a good cause, and then somewhere along the way we lost the mission of, it became more, instead of about protecting people, it almost became another way of income. It became this way of, you know, revenue from the people. It become, instead of, you know, just being out there to protect us when we need you, it's more like hiding in the bushes and trying to catch you do something wrong. Like, when did it become about, you know what I'm saying? Like, can I catch you doing 6 miles over the speed limit? Can I, you know, around here they'll hide late at night in these spots where there'll be a stop sign where you can see 40 miles either direction. And oh my God, so help you if you was to, you know, come through and do a rolling stop, as they call it. You know, just kind of slow, and obviously no one within 100 miles, and you go and they're hid back there in the dark. Here they come, you know. And are they doing that because, oh, we need to keep this, you know, to keep people safer? Are they doing that because they got a quota and they got to write so many tickets, and we got to keep that money flowing, right? Keep that money flowing. And it's just another tax. It's what it's turned into. And it's turned into, when you see the cops, you ain't thinking, oh great, there's a cop, you know, I feel safer. You're thinking, oh shit, there's a cop. There's a cop. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing to put you on edge and make sure you're doing everything right. But it just seems like we've lost the way, oh, that's nice, of, you know, of what the purpose was. And I'm not saying that's the major problem, obviously. You know, I talked about in the last video, that's that problem. The problem with getting these useless tickets is the smallest of our problems. And then it escalates to the corruption that's just going on. And right now it's all, you know, I'm all for Black Lives Matter 100%. It's senseless. But for everybody pointing out, hey, they're killing white people too, that doesn't make it better. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe you're pointing out it makes it less racist, but that still points to a huge problem. The cops are straight up murdering people. They're straight up murdering people. There's plenty of justified killings, and I understand they have a difficult job, but, you know, take for example this latest one, and his name escapes me right now, but the guy, sure you know it, who they shot in the back, who stole the taser. A lot of people are jumping on board with this. This is obvious. Obviously this guy deserved it. Look how he fought back. He stole the cop's taser. You know, this was a dangerous situation. Of course the cop had every right to shoot him, and I almost bet the cop will end up getting off for it. And it's almost like because he resisted, and yeah, the dude was in the wrong 100%. But at what point does that make it okay to shoot someone in the back and murder them? You know Yeah, he took your taser. You know it's your taser. He's a drunk. As far as I know, he's a drunk guy who fell asleep in his car. Uh, you've been talking to him for a long time. Uh, you know he's not gonna. I mean, do you really think he's gonna kill you? You think he got my taser, now he's gonna, like, how does that make it okay to shoot someone in the back? Yet so many people are condoning that one. Like I guess the only way a cop can kill somebody and it be wrong is if the person's literally doing nothing. You know, if you have a Breonna Taylor situation, you know, I get so tired. I've seen this meme going around. They've been sharing it, like, ain't it funny how, you know, if you don't do anything illegal, the cops don't bother you? Like, how can you be so stupid to share that fucking meme after Breonna Taylor, after Philando Castile? You know, it's such bullshit to think, oh yeah, you ain't doing anything but even if you are, like, we shouldn't have executions in the street from officers who claim to be. If you're that scared for your life, a guy got your taser, you fucked up and let a guy get your taser, that you got to shoot him in the fucking back, in the fucking back, and people are okay with that. How are you okay with that? You know, I've done some dumb shit when I was drunk. I've done some dumb, you know, I hope I would never do that level of dumb shit, but who knows? You know, I could, especially in my younger years, that I could have done something that fucking stupid and then get shot in the back. And I would have been wrong. If I'd done it, I'd been wrong. And that guy was wrong. That guy should have went to jail. He shouldn't have went to the fucking grave. But anyway, talking about, you know, defund the police, starting from, you know, basically starting from scratch, restructuring it completely. Not, you know, I kind of likened it to calling up a construction company and saying, hey, you know, I want to get this house, you know, I want to build a house. Okay, we'll take the job, you got the plans and however all that shit goes, and they come to build you a house, and, you know, I don't know the whole process, but they lay the foundation, whatever it is they do, and they start framing up your house, and it's just, man, it's going, you visit every day, it's going fast, it's going good, everything looks great. They get your house framed up, and then one day you come by, there's some guys on the roof shingling the roof, and it's just a cobbled up mess you ever seen. You walk in and they're running your wire, and it's a mess. Half of it's not even inside the walls. It's a jumbled up, like, just wires going everywhere. It's the awfulest mess you ever seen. There's a dude trying to lay tiles in your bathroom, and it's like nothing's right. Nothing, you know, he messed the corners up, and, you know, it just looks horrible. You're like, what the fuck? Like, everything was going so good. What's going on? And the main guy, the boss man tells you, or owner, like, well, you know, I'll just be honest with you. We're trained to frame houses. We really don't get a whole lot of training about this other shit. You know? It's like, well, find somebody that can do that. And it's like, well, there is nobody. We're it. You know? That's all we've been trained. Like, that's kind of what we have with the cops right now. They go into all these situations. They got their guns, and they got their mace, their pepper spray, and their billy stick, and their tasers. But yet they're called for so many other situations that don't require all of that, that doesn't require force, and these cops don't really know how to deal with it. You know, and there's situations where we don't need cops. Maybe we need social workers. We need, you know, people that know how to deal with people with mental health problems. We need, you know, there's other situations where sometimes someone else can take care of it and take a lot of the workload off of cops. And then, you know, maybe there's situations where a cop can, you know, be there, but not be uh, you know, he not take the lead on it. You know, maybe he's just there for backup or whatever. Because obviously these guys don't. You know, if you're not going to do that, then they have to be trained in all of this. The training has to be stepped up. You know, it's been pretty obvious in some of these videos that these cops don't even know. A lot of these cops just don't know how to fight. Period. Uh, I don't know about you, but like sometimes, like your local police, you might see some of it's just like, damn. I've seen some cops where I was like, if I was a lawbreaker, like, yeah, I'd run like a motherfucker because that motherfucker is not catching me. Like he's had more Big Macs in his day than I have, if you know what I mean. Uh, but they need to be better trained how to, you know, and it's tough because cops are going to come across some people, you know, especially some people on fucking coke and meth and who knows what. But if you got 5 or 6 cops and one guy and you can't subdue that guy in a way to not get anybody hurt and not kill that person, something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like if you can't get a guy down without killing him, and you know with the George Floyd thing, that's just a whole nother story in and of itself. Like to just casually murder somebody right in front of everybody. And here's the thing, I like as callous and big a son of a bitch as that guy was that was on his neck. I don't think the dude. I don't think he did that with the purpose of killing him. You know, because I think he knew. I mean, surely he would have known that would not be a good situation for him. Uh, so I'm, you know, and again, I don't know what he's thinking, but in my head, I'm like, I don't think that was his intention. But I think what he was doing was what he's done a million times. So that he was being a dick, and he was exerting that power, and he had that ego, and he put that knee in the back of his neck to let him know, you know, I'm the motherfucker in charge here. I'm the alpha male. You know, just kind of sit there with your hands on your hip, and you know, fuck you. I think he wanted to humiliate him. He wanted to exert his power over him. Uh, and so he sat there for almost 9 minutes and killed George Floyd. Uh, just murdered him, cold blood. But I don't think, like I said, I don't think that was his intention was to kill him. I think he was just being an asshole. Like he's probably been an asshole to many. I guarantee you, he's done that same move on several people. Whether they were all black, someone could have been, you know, I don't know, but I guarantee you he's done that move before. Uh, he's had that neck, he's had that knee on the back of somebody's neck before, and I still have not brought myself to watch that entire video. I guess I've watched so many lately. It's just after what it just, I knew I've heard how. I think the biggest thing is how slow it is. Just hard for me to bring myself to watch that. But man, there's got to be some change. I mean, did you see this? What that police union boss or whoever it was who come out like a goddamn fucking maniac talking about how they demanded respect. They need some respect. Quit treating us like thugs. You know, poor us. You know, the media's putting us down. Blah, blah, blah. We deserve. Fuck that son of a bitch. Fuck him. God damn. But you know, there's got to be a lot of change. There needs to be more training in de-escalation instead of, you know, I see these cops all the time. You know, a lot of these videos you watch, it's like they show up to a situation that's right here, and like within 2 seconds of the cops showing up, they take it to here. Like they just immediately escalate that situation, you know, and it's like, you know, I don't understand it. And man, if you're in law enforcement, understand this from there is no way. Like I see what you guys and gals have put up with. Like, there's no way I can know how difficult your job is, but I do know it's difficult, extremely difficult. There's no job around. Like, I look at the person in the McDonald's drive-through, and I realize, you know what? You may say, oh, they work the McDonald's drive-through, whoop-de-whoop. But I realize when I look at that person that I have no idea their responsibility. I don't know everything they're in charge of. I don't know how hard their job is, and I know their job is a lot harder than what I think. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, ooh, I just stand at the window all day and take these orders. Like, there's a lot to their job. Like, every job is like that. The person back there and the cooking, every job they will put as much as they can on you. They want as much as they can out of each worker, so they're going to add stuff to you. Understand, every job you go into is like that. In law enforcement, please understand, I know that I don't know the beginning of how tough your job is, how hard your job is. I do respect the good cops out there. But what's one of the most difficult things for me to watch is when a bad cop is doing something horrible, and there's all these so-called good cops just standing there watching it happen and letting it happen. And what you have there, if you got, like someone else said, this isn't my quote, but what someone else said, if you got one bad cop doing one bad thing and 4 cops standing back watching, what you have is 5 bad cops. I mean, you just do. And I understand, especially in some of these big cities, there's this brotherhood, within law enforcement, that they, they protect one another. And I've heard former cops talk about, you don't turn on anybody, you don't turn anybody in, you don't speak up, and if you do, they'll drive you out. Like, there's that level of corruption in some of these places, and that's, how do you fix that? How do you get rid of it and start scratch? I think it has to be more reform. There's got to be big changes, and I don't know where that starts. I don't know how we get there. Unfortunately, the president we got isn't going to help in any way, obviously. If anything, he's going to make it worse. The Democratic nominee, we got Biden. I don't, let's just put it this way. I don't trust Biden to do anything to help. The only thing I know is that maybe if it starts in Congress and can get more real changes passed up to him, he's more likely to, maybe back something like that. But whether we'll see real change like that, I don't know. But these protests are still going on, and it's powerful, and they're demanding change. And man, I hope we get it. I really do. I think we need to not stop until we get real change. We need, it's like we cut the budget. Our police has become like our military. We can't give our people health care, but we have an ungodly military, that's just dwarfs any other country. And it's just ludicrous that you can use that kind of money towards that, and you can't give your own people health care. It just tells you where our priorities are. And not only that, but you can't even take care of the vets, the people that serve in the military. Like, I mean, if you're going to put that kind of money into our military, take care of the military men and women. But it's like we can't even do that. I don't know. The whole system's got to change. Damn, I hate to jump from one. I got 2 more topics I want to cover, and then I'll see if we got questions, and we'll jump into that. But I hate to jump from talking about the police to this, but again, it's something I think needs to be talked about. I don't know how many of y'all cook. I enjoy cooking. Probably my favorite thing to cook, besides grilling burgers outside. That's definitely my favorite. But outside of that, I like cooking breakfast. This is I'm gonna probably lose some subscribers over this, but so be it. You know, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to tell the truth. But here's the thing: when it comes to frying breakfast foods, frying sausage patties is as easy as frying bacon. It's, you know, there's not a big difference. I mean, you know, either one of them, you gotta. I mean, the bacon, you can take you some tongs and turn them. Sausage, take you a spatula, turn it. It's not that hard either way. You're just frying it in the pan. So I don't understand, like, if they're both that easy, why are people raving, go on and on? I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't understand why everybody goes on and on like bacon is the best goddamn thing in the planet, and it's when it is good. Don't get me wrong, but sausage, 1,000,000 to 1 is better than bacon. 1,000,000 to 1, I would rather have sausage over bacon. And I'm like, you can get mad all you want, and you can say what you want in the comments, but you know what I'm saying is true. Sausage is better than bacon. It always has been. But yet nobody talks about it. You know, I don't see no memes about how great sausage is, and it pisses me off, honestly. And don't get me wrong, I get bacon is great and bacon is versatile. Bacon's great on burgers, but here's the thing: have you ever thought about putting a couple slabs of sausage on a burger? I guarantee you that would be just as good. Fucking put you some sausage on there and slap some cheese and some ketchup. Fuck yeah. You know, you just ain't tried it. Like, oh, what about the BLT? The BLT, you know, the BLT can go fuck itself. Do you know what the BLT is? You know what that stands for? The B's bacon. That's great. But the LT, you know what that is? That's lettuce and tomato. It's fucking rabbit food. Who the fuck eats that? Like, who eats a sandwich and puts bacon in? That's not even a sandwich. Like, there's gotta be more meat than just. And understand, man, I will eat the fuck out of some bacon. I love bacon. But I think most of us, if you have your choice between bacon or sausage, you're gonna choose sausage every time. I mean, why wouldn't you? And if that pisses you off, so be it. You know, I don't give a shit. But I'm tired of everybody. Bacon, as good as it is, it's the most overrated food out there. The way people act like it's just the best thing since sliced bread. And don't get me wrong, it is better than sliced bread, obviously. I mean, sliced bread, it really doesn't serve a purpose there in holding your shit together, you know. But it's just, I just want to talk about that and bring that up, that I didn't understand why everybody's so goes on and on about bacon when sausage is so much better. And it's right there. It's kind of, you know, you think of bacon and sausages are kind of the same, but sausage just doesn't get the attention that bacon does, and that aggravates me. Okay, last thing on my list I want to talk about, and I told y'all I was going to get, it's kind of a big deal for me, and I was going to talk about my health a little bit. As you know, and not my mental health, other things, because I still struggle with all that. My mental health it's been a long road, a rough one. But lately I've had physical things, and I have a hernia, of course, again. I've already had one. I had surgery a few years back. I had an umbilical hernia. Now I got one right here, lifting some stuff and felt pain. So they sent me for a CT several months back, and I went in for a CT, and of course, they found the hernia, and they didn't do any contrast with it. It's just, straight up CT, no contrast. And of course, they saw the hernia, but they told me they found something else, and we're not sure what it might be, but that's like it kind of had them concerned. And basically, it was they saw something like in my rectum, basically, and they said there was inflammation or something like that, and it's like, well, it could be several things, and but we want you to come back in 3 months, and we'll do another CT scan with contrast. And I was like, okay. So I went, just a few weeks ago, and had the CT scan with the contrast, and they come back and they called me just this past Friday, and they got the results, and they said, okay, they're gonna have to send me for a colonoscopy because they said we did find you have enlarged lymph nodes in your rectum, and we want to go into a colonoscopy and see what's going on. So that wasn't great news at all, and I get on there and I just Google just a little bit, and I don't know if it's the phrasing I used or what it was, but when I did, it was just cancer, 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 cancer. And of course, I just recently watched my stepdad die from stage 4 colon cancer. And so here I'm looking at the possibility of the exact same thing. And so I just quit Googling, and I'll be honest, for 4 days, I didn't Google anymore, and I kind of just accepted the fact that, okay, this is it. I'm dying. I started thinking about, how I wanted to go. It caused me to think about a lot of things, like kind of caused me to come face to face with it, and I don't know. It's hard to say how realistic that is, because it's one of those things where I feel like I was pretty sure, pretty certain that I was dying, but it's one of those things where it's like, you really don't know until the doctor looks me in the eye and says, okay, there's nothing more we can do. Do I really know what it's like? I don't think I really would fully grasp what it means to believe I am gone until I really got those final words, of just there's nothing left we can do. Because there's always in the back of your mind, I guess, some hope. But for 4 days, I just kind of felt like this is it. And my wife and I, we took a trip Saturday, the next day after I found this out. We went to Gatlinburg, and it was probably not a good thing to do with this virus and everything. But at the time, it's like we called down there. They opened up, and they're like, we're only letting 50% capacity in. Everybody required to wear a mask, yada yada. So we're like, okay, it's only 50% capacity. It's a big place. We want to go to Ripley's Aquarium. And let my daughter see the penguins. My daughter watches that show on Disney, Penguins, like the documentary about penguins. She loves that documentary. Like, my kid's sitting in there watching this, just a documentary on penguins. She loves it. And so we went, and we had a wonderful day. But I had to put it out of my mind because at first I was stressing out a little bit. We got there, and man, it was just a disaster. Like, the streets were packed. It was just shoulder to shoulder people, and almost no one wearing a mask. We got inside Ripley's Aquarium, and I don't know what 50% capacity is, but If that, and they said they haven't even hit. That's another thing they told us is like we haven't even hit 50% capacity yet. Like that's how few people they've had, and so I was like, oh, that's awesome. I guess they're not even hitting 50% capacity. It'll be great, but we get there, and it was just. Well, if that was under 50% capacity, I would hate to be there when it's 100%. Because, and people still getting right up on top of you. Nobody, like, I'd say I saw 3 people the entire time wearing a mask. And it was just like, well, and so at one point I finally told my wife, I was like, we might as well just let go and have fun and forget about it. I was like, because as of now, probably all 3 of us have COVID. Like, we might as well just accept it and move on. But anyway, we had a good trip, and it's kind of weird trying to come to terms with, okay, what if this is bad? What if this is the beginning of the end, so to speak? I gotta go have that colonoscopy, and that'll hopefully tell me. And now, but after 4 days, I Googled more. And honestly, after Googling more, usually that makes it worse, but it actually made it better. This time I kind of, not only did I see that it could be something else causing that, it doesn't necessarily have to be cancer, but I also thought even if it is, at my age, there's a very good possibility they could have caught it in early stages. Uh, you know, there's no reason to write myself off yet. Just, to just, okay, the first news I get, I'm dead. But I did, for 4 days, I kind of thought like that. I was like, well, I guess it just seems like the way my luck's been, the way everything's gone, it just felt like that was the next step, you know. It just felt right that, of course, I'll find out now that I'm dying. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and, I want to watch her grow up. I have a wonderful wife, so of course that would be the news I get. But I'm not thinking like that anymore. But if it does come to that, and if that is what it is, I have this. I don't know, guys. It's a very mixed feelings. The emotions are really strange because there's a part of me that is really sad because the last thing I want to do is leave my wife. Like, I worry about her. I worry about, and the thoughts of my daughter being 3 years old and possibly growing up and not really having memories of me other than the pictures and videos. And I'm glad she has all that, but that's rough. But here's the thing. There's another part of me that has just got so tired of this world. And I know a lot of that has to do with my mental health, but it just wears on me so much how ugly people are, people's attitude. I see so much hate, racism, bigotry, especially where I live. It brings me down. And there's just this weird feeling, behind the sadness of not wanting to leave my family. There's almost this, I don't feel like excitement's the right word, but that's almost what it was like. Almost like relief, maybe. Like, I can close my eyes and just be done with it all. What surprised me though is, yeah, there was sadness, but there wasn't much fear like I figured there would be. The most fear I had is watching my stepdad die. And I've always believed in the right to die. And when I say the right to die, I mean the right to choose how you die. And this just makes it even more so. It's like, that's not how I want to go out. Like, I want to fight, but when I start to get to that place where there's no fight left in me, you know, I, it's hard. If you've ever watched somebody die of cancer, those last few days are so hard, so difficult to watch. And I mean, it's almost to the point when they die, there's a relief to it because no one should have to suffer that way. And the only comfort I get out of it is I often think that at that point, like my stepdad, and I think that maybe they're they're to the point they almost aren't there anymore anyway, and so I really hope they're not. Maybe they're not experiencing the pain. You know, they're so out of it. My biological dad was different. It seemed like he suffered almost right up until his death, like because he basically was drowning on fluid on his lungs, and so every breath for so long, it just felt like a lifetime. Like every single breath was a gasp for air, and man, it's like that's the fear I have. Like I don't want to get there. Like I want to be able to have the right pills that when it comes my time, I can gather the family around. We can say our last goodbyes, and I can take my cocktail and close my eyes and go peacefully, you know. And everybody should have the right to that. And that's something I know it gets brought up from time to time, but I think we need to push more. You know, it's people's dignity and their right. But it's getting really dark on me, so I'm gonna close this up. And I understand this could turn out to be nothing, so I apologize again. But but it's just you get news like that, you can't help but get a little scared. So anyway, I did have a couple questions on the video for today, so excuse me. Let's go read them in the dark here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so of course I made the video, you know, talking about how I can't go live, and so you can comment on that video if you and our Kim type, and I'm guessing this is Kim, or it could be Lloyd. Kim and Lloyd are great fans of the show. They've been watching for a long time. They're patrons. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for just being there for a long time, and these comments, questions. I appreciate you guys a bunch. She said that really stinks. Wish there was a better platform out there, one that isn't suppressive. I was looking forward to tonight as well. Glad you're making the best of it though. Then she come back later and commented and said, sorry I'm late. I would like to know what you meant by well, well, well. You piqued my curiosity. First of all, Kim or Lloyd, I said don't ask. Did you not hear me say don't? I'm just kidding. But since it's you, and since y'all are such good fans of my channel, I guess I'll answer you. And it's not going to be an answer. It's not going to be a great answer. Just so basically, I knew that this was not going to be. This is going to be a weird type of show. It's going to be more laid back, talk about anything and everything. It's going to be me being stupid, and 1 minute serious the next, stupid the next, and hopefully you have a hard time figuring out when I'm being either. And so I was like, I need just to maybe just make up a word, because I was watching Little Mermaid with my daughter, and there's that one part where they find a fork and the seagull is trying to tell them what everything is, and of course the seagull don't really know, and he's like, yeah, that's a dingle hopper, you know, they use to fix their hair, but it's actually a fork. And so I was like, cool, I'll do that. I'll make up a word, you know, that ain't even a word, and that'll be the name of the show. And that's what I was going to do. However, my daughter, like I said earlier, she watches this. She's watching this. Oh no, hold on. There, can you see me? My daughter is watching this that documentary about the penguins, right? And basically, what it is, they follow like one penguin around through as he finds a mate. They have babies and raise them through the summer there in Antarctica, and they, you know, make it back out to the ocean. It's a neat little documentary. I actually enjoy watching it. I enjoyed watching it the first 27 times. I think after that it gets a little old, but anyway, there's this one thing, and where, you know, because there's a guy kind of doing the voice like he is the penguin, and he'll talk, and he says, "Well, well, well," and every time he does it, you know, my daughter will say it before, like when it gets to the part, you wouldn't even think my daughter would know. Like for a 3-year-old watching it, I would think all she sees is penguins. Like she wouldn't even get the actual story of it. I wouldn't think, but she does. She knows where certain things are. She'll say the thing that they're getting ready to say before they say it, and it amazes me. But my daughter says it all the time. Well, 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 and so it just kind of stuck in my head. I was like, well, that's a good title. I could call it Well, 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 you know? And because, well, 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 what are we talking about today, you know? And then just because I'm stupid, I decided to change it and have it be Wail, you know, W-E-L-L, W-A-I-L, and then Wail. Because why not? And I'm stupid. So, sorry. There's not a real cool story behind that. That's pretty much it. It was just me being stupid and playing off words that I heard my daughter say, and that's about it. Victor Jason commented. He said, "Definitely could be wrong, but I don't think there are those qualifications to go live on Twitch TV. You could make an account there, let us know what the name is, and then you could still do your broadcast on that platform." And yeah, this is something I might have to look into in the future. If, you know, it'd be great if we could just hit 1,000 subscribers. That'd be great. Because I hate having things, you know, I like having it all on one platform. You know, I hate to be on YouTube and then over on Twitch, and then I gotta figure Twitch. You know, I've never been on Twitch. I haven't even watched anything on Twitch, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If I see we ain't going to hit 1,000 anytime soon, because, you know, we're only halfway there. But maybe if I'm more regular making these videos, maybe do these every week, it might help. You know, if I become more regular, it might help to grow the channel. But we'll see. Down the future, we may have to do something like that, because it would be nice to be able to go live. And I even thought about doing a Facebook Live, and then I was like, well, everybody doesn't have Facebook, so there you are again, you know. And I don't, like, I guess I'd have to look at the most available platform that wouldn't be a big deal for people to get on, you know, because a lot of people, if they're not on Facebook, they're not on Facebook for a reason, you know, and so they're not going to want to go create an account. And for those people, I say, you are probably smart, because Facebook is the best and it is the worst. A lot of people love Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I just can't, I don't know, I can't. But anyway, Victor went on and he said, as for a question, I was wondering, was it just atheism that made you more liberal, or have you always been more liberal? Thanks. Well, Victor, that's kind of a tough question. Because my atheism, in a way, my atheism did indirectly lead me to being more liberal. And no, I have not always been more liberal. I was as right-wing as you get. I was every joke you can make about the right, and when I say the right, I mean I'm talking about the right wing nuts. Every joke you can make about them, I was that. I was, I've talked about it. I was a racist, a bigot, horrible, like just a piece of shit. And I I did not have. I wouldn't debate you about it. I'd call you a fucking loser and move on. Like fuck you and fuck gay people. I was a piece of shit. I really was. So then I become an atheist. So how did that affect me? Because atheism has nothing to do with becoming a liberal. But I think what happened is becoming an atheist is world changing, because for me, I grew up in this, and I was taught everything that I was ingrained and indoctrinated into me. So like the school I went to, the churches I went to, they didn't just drill Jesus into me, they drilled all of those right-wing political views into me too. It kind of went hand in hand, and it was bad. I've actually, I don't know if I mentioned this in earlier videos or not, but I've actually been diagnosed with PTSD from my church and school, which was a Christian school, a very strict Christian school. And my therapist, told me I had PTSD from that. And it's kind of weird because my therapist is a Christian. She doesn't push that on me in any way in therapy, but I thought it was kind of, funny that her as a Christian is diagnosing me with PTSD from the church and religion. But they pushed all those beliefs into me. So naturally, politics and religion was kind of intertwined. We believed what we believed politically because of the Bible, I guess, and so we didn't care about, like, there was no economical issues you cared about, like healthcare, education, all that stuff kind of took a back seat to things like gay people getting married, and abortion, and oddly guns. Those were the three big ones. We want our guns. Don't take our guns away. Don't let people have abortions. And by God, whatever you do, we cannot have gay people get married. That infringes on our freedom so much to see other people happy. We cannot have that. So all those beliefs were ingrained in, they were, like I said, it was, your political views were almost part of your religion. So when I lost my religion, it was a very slow process of starting to think for myself. And as you do that, you start to realize that everything you've been told is bullshit. Like things that you've been taught from the pulpit is bullshit. Everything you were taught in school is, other than your main subjects, is bullshit. Like all of a sudden I can't trust anything they said. It's like if I can't trust them on the religion part, then what else are they lying to me about? What else have they put into my head? So I start to, when I first become an atheist, I didn't immediately become okay with gay people. Like, you know what I mean? It still took time for me to realize what an asshole I was. Because, I hated gay people for my own reasons. Because for me, it was like, oh, that's, it's, whatever. It's not natural, it's gross. So I can't blame all, I'm not going to sit here and blame all of it on the church. But slowly, I think leaving the church causes you to open your mind and say, okay, man, I was right about this thing that is like the biggest thing that I could possibly be wrong about. I was wrong about. I believed a lie, so now I have to completely re-examine everything. And so, of course, my political views come under a microscope, and I started, leaning a little more and more, because the more I lean towards being, I guess, what you would call a humanist, just wanting the best for people, caring for people, the more I leaned that way, the more it pulled me liberal. The more I leaned towards wanting to take care of people, wanting people to truly be free, wanting people to truly be happy, accepting people, like all of those things I started wanting to be a better person, and I started to realize how, I had hurt people. And in the process of becoming a better person, and I know this kind of sounds like me saying, uh, you know, liberals are better people, but, you know, my story is what it is, truth is what it is, and that's where it took me. So, no, I'm not a liberal because I'm an atheist, but becoming an atheist definitely caused me to re-examine every part of my life. So I guess you could say atheism indirectly led me to becoming a liberal. Uh, you know, see what else we got. Okay, Ryan Bowman. Hi Joe, do you still use the email address that you have mentioned in earlier videos? joe.therebelsadvocate@gmail.com. Just wondering if there's a way I can contact you, not publicly. Yes, Ryan. I do still use that email, and sometimes I may go several days without checking it. But Ryan, I actually saw your message before I did this video, and thanks so much for sending me that message. I do, okay, because I haven't really mentioned that email a whole lot, I don't think, since the first video. But let me just put that out there again for anybody that does want to contact me. It is joe.therebelsadvocate@gmail.com. And it's amazing, I did that first video, I don't know, it's been a few years now. And that video still has way more views than any other video I've ever done. But I still have people message me from that first video, and a lot of times they'll tell me, their story and things like that. And I'm not always the best at responding quickly, because I'm always like, I'll see something like, Ryan, I actually saw your message while I was with my wife at the hospital, and I was like, okay, I really want to answer you, but I'm not going to do it in a rushed fashion. I was going to wait till I got home, and of course I got home, and I took a long nap. Then I went to Mom's, got Peyton, come back, and we started making this video. And now I'm out here after dark. What time is it? 9:33. Oh boy, the wife probably wants me back in the house. But so yeah, I did see your video. I look forward to answering you and communicating further. And for anybody else watching, if there's something you'd like to talk to me about, that you don't want to put in the comments, that email is joe.therebelsadvocate@gmail.com. Holler at me there. And if I don't answer you right away, please, it's not me being rude or ignoring you. I'm just not always the best at responding promptly. But man, I appreciate those messages. I also get from time to time messages, and I've talked about the guilt I have for what a horrible bigot I was, and it bothers me. But I've had so many messages from people, whether gay, trans, you name it. People who have messaged me and thanked me for, being upfront and honest, and telling my story, and some of them, talked about how it gives them hope for, some of the most hateful people out there, that, maybe even those people can change. And, most of them won't. I mean, it's just the way it is. A lot of these people, we just got to wait till they die out. And I don't know, you know, you and I will probably never live to see a day where there's no more bigots, no more racists, you know. But maybe our kids or our grandkids will, who knows. Yeah, you know, but some of them you just gotta wait for them to die. They're not going to change. But I will say this, man, I was about as bad as they come. I never hurt anybody physically. You know, I wasn't that level. I wasn't gonna. There's those people out there that'll hurt people or even kill people. I wasn't to that level, but I was as bad as you can get of hurting people verbally, and which could lead, and hurting someone verbally could very much lead to their death. I've talked about that, man. You never know when you're going to be the last straw that pushes somebody over the edge. And so, anyway, getting off topic again, but yeah, anytime anybody wants to message me, and Ryan, I'm gonna try my best to get to you tonight. I gotta upload this video, but yeah, you left me a long, thoughtful message on there, and man, I enjoy hearing from people. I had someone else just right before you messaged kind of told me their deconversion story, and it's great to get those stories and to hear, and sometimes it's just nice knowing, especially if you live somewhere like I do. You know, there's other people out there like you, but sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that because this place can be a fucking dumpster sometimes of just the worst people, and of course the worst people are always the loudest, and it's just upsetting, and especially when you live in a place like I do that kind of boasts that, you know, it's a weird kind of people, because they're the people that will give you the shirt off their back. They're the nicest, kindest people. If you like, you know what I mean? But then they have no empathy for anyone outside of their circle, and they're complete asshats. And it becomes confusing because you see them and they're kind and nice. They're the nicest people you ever meet. They're so friendly, smiling, laughing, seem like just good old-fashioned people. But then the level of hate, the lack of empathy, is like there's a disconnect there that I've yet to really understand. I don't know how much of that to blame on religion. I don't know, you know, but it's disheartening. But anyway, been on here long enough. Guys, I apologize. This first video that I messed up, got drunk, but you know, maybe that's a good thing. And I thought about this. I was like, maybe the fact that I couldn't go live turned out to be a blessing. You know, God was in control. God was looking out for me, and he said, you know what, that atheist is going to make a fool out of himself if he goes live. And so he protected me. And that just goes to show you, maybe God loves atheists more than he loves Christians, you know? Because I've seen a lot of Christians go live and make fools of themselves. I got a knot on my head. Sure looks like it. So anyhow, let's go in the house, get a bite to eat. I'm starved. And we'll talk to you next week. All right, this is gonna be a weekly thing. I'm gonna try to record on Mondays, so that'll probably mean that the videos will come out on Tuesday. So, because I'll probably be recording Monday nights, so the videos probably won't come out to Tuesday. Today I'm recording on Tuesday, so it may not. I may get it out tonight. I'm gonna try to just put the two videos together and upload them, no editing or anything. I don't want to edit these videos. I want it to be, like I said, like it's live. If I blunder and make mistakes, so be it. But it is what it is. So it's not either go up tonight or tomorrow, hopefully tonight. But what I was going to say is what I'm trying to do right now, this is the plan right now unless we make changes, is maybe put out a video on Sunday and just be like, hey, upcoming video, you know, we'll make a video tomorrow night. Any questions, comments, put it on this video, you know, and that way I'll have something to go look at if anybody wants to put any questions out there. And who knows what we'll talk about next week. I don't know that these videos should be this long though. Let me know, how long do you think I should, you know, should I cut these videos down? Should I try to keep it like 30 minutes? Would that be better? Tell me what you think in the comments. You know, if you like the longer videos, you like shorter videos, want to see my kid more, want to see me less, you know, you're probably stuck with me though. But, you know, any suggestions, critiques you have, let me know. I'll get pissed off and be like, fuck you. But then I'll come around and be like, you know what, you're probably right. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And I'm going to go in. I love yous. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for putting up with me through this last few fuck-ups. And hopefully this is the beginning of a more regular Joe. And we'll see. I know I've let you down in the past, but you know, I got high hopes this time. High hopes that we're going to do better. We're going to do a better job. My therapist actually says this is a great thing. You know, get a routine. She was happy with, you know, which I told her I was going live because I thought I was going live at the time, but that didn't happen. But you know, she felt like it was a good idea. It gave me. She's trying to build some structure in my life, which has been difficult, man. It's a up and down road. You know, it's something that's hard to understand unless you've been there. There was a day just this past week, I didn't get out of bed until 5:30 p.m. guys. 5:30 p.m. And I can tell you right now, that's not something you do because you want to lay in bed. It's, you know, I can't explain it. It's not like you're laying there like, ooh, I just want to sleep or something. It just takes over you. When it takes over you, it takes over you. And that's why when I get momentum, whenever I can get something, get momentum, get my body moving, get myself doing something, get my mind right, I try to keep it up. And that's one reason why I want to do these videos on a weekly basis, because it gives me structure, you know, not just on the day I'm doing it, but it actually, like this will help me as the week goes through to be thinking about what I want to talk about, you know, maybe jot down an idea or whatever, and that helps. And then two, I don't want to give up my other videos. I'd like to be making other videos, putting out during the week as well. So anyway, you know, and I've even thought about doing different videos, maybe even creating some playlists within my channel, putting some just kind of more personal videos, you know, videos with my daughter, whatever, you know. You don't have to watch them. They're there for anybody that wants to see that, and anybody that don't. Because I thought about making a whole different YouTube channel just to, or putting it on my, you know, I have an old YouTube channel that's just my name or whatever. But I was like, well, maybe I could just, you know, create a playlist, stick it on this channel. It ain't like you have to watch it or anything. But I, you know, be there for people that did. But anyway, boy, it's like once I start talking, I can't stop. It's nervous chatter, but I'm gonna go. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you soon.